The most expensive hire I ever made was someone with an impressive CV, excellent technique, and the wrong attitude. I did not realize until the damage was already done. And as a result, the team felt it, the patient experience suffered, and the culture I had spent years trying to build took a dramatic hit I did not see coming. Stop hiring for skills and hire for attitude, because skills you can teach and attitude you cannot. So the clinic owners who understand that distinction early save themselves years of wrong hires, wrong energy, and wrong culture sitting inside their business. Welcome back, guys. I'm Nurse Sarah Louise. I help aesthetic clinic owners build more profitable businesses, create real freedom from their clinics, and stop trading their time for money. I've been in the aesthetics industry for 15 years. I've owned my own clinic for 9, and I'm the founder of the Business Injection, where I help hundreds of clinic owners across the UK grow their revenue, build their teams, and start building businesses that don't rely on them being there every single day. Today, I'm going to teach you why you hire the person and not the skill. The reason almost every clinic owner hires for skills is because skills feel safe. You can see them on a CV, verify them with certificates, and assess them in a practical interview. When you're busy and you need someone in that room seeing patients, the path of least resistance is to find the most qualified person available and get them started as quickly as possible. I know, because I did that as well. Now, unfortunately, that logic has significant flaws. The most qualified person available is not always the right person for your clinic, and the risk between those two things is exactly where most hiring mistakes live. I've made this mistake myself more than once, and I see clinic owners make it constantly, but I do understand exactly why. You're overstretched, the diary needs covering, and someone presents themselves with strong clinical skills, but substandard attitude. You think, great, problem solved. But what you've actually done is fill a clinical gap while creating a cultural one. And let me tell you, cultural gaps are far more expensive to fix because they compound quickly, and usually by the time you notice them, the damage is already widespread. So what the wrong attitude actually costs you? The wrong attitude rarely announces itself at the interview. It shows up as the practitioner who does the minimum required with nothing more, who follows the protocol when you're watching and cuts corners when you're not. They often have a different energy with patients, depending on whether they're being observed. And they may undermine the team culture, and usually they have body language that the patients and colleagues pick up on when they cannot name exactly what they are feeling. Patients feel energy before they can articulate it. A patient who does not feel completely safe and completely cared for in that room will not come back. And they may not tell you why, which means you'll never know you lost them. Staff who are performing well and genuinely care, they won't stay long-term in an environment where wrong attitude is tolerated, because it signals to them that the standard does not actually matter, and therefore their effort doesn't matter either. And as a result, you as the owner will spend far more time managing the wrong person than you ever will spending training the right one. The wrong attitude is the most expensive item in your business. Unfortunately, it does not appear on any invoice, but it happens when you start hearing staff are unhappy, patients are not satisfied, and the whole morale just feels uneasy. So what does the right attitude actually look like? The right attitude is not about personality type, and it is not about how likable someone is at an interview. Plenty of people are charming and try to be liked at an interview, but then are completely different in practice. So charm and trying to be your friend is not what you are looking for, guys. The right attitude shows up in small things. Do they ask questions after the interview because they're genuinely curious about the role? Do they arrive early for the trial day without even being asked? When something goes wrong during the trial day, do they problem solve? Do they communicate? And do they take ownership? Or do they deflect, minimize, and wait for someone else to fix it? The way someone handles a small difficulty tells you everything about how they'll handle a large one. So the trial day is not a skills assessment, it's a character assessment. And you need to design it exactly that way to get that feedback. I would rather wait for the right person than fill a gap with the wrong one. I've said this on my lives, and I will keep saying it over and over again, because the urgency of an empty treatment room will always push you towards a fast decision. And fast decisions in hiring are almost always the ones you will regret. Hire the person, train the skill. I will always fall back to that. So how do we hire for the right attitude? First, change what you are looking for in the interview. Stop asking about techniques and qualifications because you can verify those on a CV. Start asking questions that reveal their character. So tell me about a time something went wrong with a patient and how you handled that. What does a gold standard patient experience look like to you? What would you do if you disagreed with how something was being done in this clinic? The answers to those questions will tell you far more than any clinical demonstration ever will. Second, design your trial day to reveal attitude rather than just skill. Put something slightly difficult in the day, an unexpected situation, a question they've not been briefed on, or maybe a moment where they just have to think rather than perform. Because skills can be rehearsed for a trial day, but attitude cannot. So the moments where someone has to think on their feet are the moments that tell you who they actually are. And third, trust what you observe rather than what you want to be true. This is the hardest one because when you need someone and you're desperate in that room, you'll talk yourself into seeing what you need to see rather than what you need. And unfortunately, this is how the expensive hires happen. If something feels off during the trial, it is off. The instinct that something is not quite right is almost always correct. And the cost of ignoring it is always higher than the cost of starting the search again. So guys, the right hire will grow your clinic. The wrong hire will cost you your patients, staff, time, and energy that you will never fully account for because most of it never appears on a spreadsheet. Skills can be taught, trained, developed, and improved. So skills are not the risk. Attitude cannot be changed by a manager, a protocol, or even a performance review, which means attitude is the only thing that actually matters when you're making that primary decision. So the next time you're sitting across from someone impressive on paper, ask yourself, is this the right skill set or is this the right person? Because those are two very different questions, and only one of them determines whether this hire is going to help you build something or cost you something. So remember, guys, protect your investment, hire the person, and train the skill. I'm Nurse Sarah Louise. This is the Business Injection, and I'll see you next time.